Good morning, fifth graders. Welcome to our day 3 of phonics and word study. Today, our focus is going to continue with the prefixes re, pre, dis, and miss. All right, and so we're going to use those prefixes in an article that's called letters. So you will need your My Word Study book number 2. All right, and then we're on page 15. And before we start reading today, we are going to read our questions. We want to make sure we understand our purpose for reading. All right, so while we're reading today, we're looking for how did people communicate long ago? How is it similar to how you communicate today, and how is it different? Find sentences to support your answer. And then question number 2, what role did spies play in communicating information? And last, what were the risks? So it sounds like we have 2 main focuses. We're looking at the difference of how people communicated long ago versus today. And then we're also looking for information about spies. Okay, how did they communicate, and what risks did they take? All right, so if you would like to read this on your own, feel free to do that. If you'd like to read along with me, go ahead and stay here. Okay, the article is called Letters. It may seem that email has replaced letter writing, but email wasn't an option over 200 years ago as a new nation fought for its freedom. I'm going to underline email. That's how we communicate today. During the Revolutionary War, people needed to share information. Troop leaders had to prearrange meeting points and plan battles. If they were in different places, letters were the only way to communicate. I'm going to underline that. During battles, letters were the only way to communicate. Right? So long ago, letters, today, emails. Okay, on to paragraph 3. It was the task of messengers to pick up and deliver letters. These carriers had to be careful not to get caught. One misstep could cost the lives of many soldiers. If it happened that a disloyal messenger gave the letters to the British, it could cost America the war. American spies, I'm going to underline that. Do you remember the last question was about spies? American spies often worked behind enemy lines. They had to get letters about British war plans back to their leaders. Many letters were written in secret code. Underline. If the enemy discovered the letters, they would be able to read them, or they would be unable to read them. Dr. James Jay came up with a type of invisible ink that made words disappear. To make the words reappear, a special fluid was applied to the letter. I'm going to underline the invisible ink because it sounds like the spies delivered letters, but they had a few tricks. They wrote in code and they used invisible ink. All right. Then lastly, it says, today, letter writing may seem a bit old-fashioned, but one thing is for sure, those wartime letters helped shape our nation. All right, fifth graders, go back and read it one more time to yourself. See if there's anything else you want to underline to answer our questions for today. And then you can write your final answers at the bottom of the page. All right, we'll see you again tomorrow.